Welcome. Today we are going to model a wooden crate. I want to thank you for joining me. Let's get it started. All right. So here is the crate we are looking to model. A quick Google search of wooden crate will land you, and this is where I found this one. It's on let's see, what's the name of the website. The website is 123rf.com. This is where you can find this crate, and it comes with all these references. I don't care about the watermarks because I'm not gonna repost this. I'm just gonna use it as reference. So this is fine. I made the image larger, and then I downloaded the preview that they offer, and I went ahead and downloaded all of these as well because well, I could use all of these images to render it, stage it, and do whatever I want with them. All right, so I've got all of these images, and I'm just gonna pull up my PureRef board. I'm gonna pull up PureRef. I'm gonna drag and drop all of my images onto my PureRef board. Okay, just like, wait, nope, I should have all of them selected, and I just drag and drop them on there. And what it's gonna do, like I told you, is it's gonna make a collage of these guys for me, just like that. So now I have a collage of all of my references ready to go. All right, so I can pull my PureRef board to the side wherever I want it, and then dock it there. I'm gonna have it off screen for a second just so I can full screen. So now I've got my references, and I'm gonna start the same way that I start, any model. So I've got my second monitor here that I have my PureRef board on, but I'm also gonna bring some of these references into my 3ds Max, and you guys know how to do that by now, but let's just go through it just one more again. All right, so I'm gonna hit F, Alt, and W to go into my full extent of that window to maximize that viewport that I'm in. And then I'm gonna just draw a plane out, W, right, center, right, and I know you guys can see it, so it's a little redundant for me to say, and you have the on-screen keyboard right there, but that's fine. So let's hit F to G to get rid of that grid. Then I'm gonna just zero my plane so that now I can add a UVW map and throw a bitmap modifier on there. I'm going to navigate to where my image is. Actually, let me make a Give me 1 second, I'm trying to grab some of these folders, put them out of here. Right, almost there. All right, so let's find that crate refs, and then I'm gonna find our references. Drag that guy. It's going to match the aspect ratio. Bring up my material editor so that now I can drag and drop all of those images. In all honesty, just go right ahead and drag and drop those in here. Just going to navigate to where my crate folder is, and then just start going to references, and then just start dragging and dropping. I think I'm missing one. And this is like an overall kind of maybe like an idea for how they could be stacked. You know, so I always like to do something like that because, you know, these product shots are really boring. I mean, if that's what you want, you know, that's like a base of what you're supposed to render out. But like, I always like to have something that's, you know, more story driven to draw the audience into the scene. So I always look for little references of how these guys are placed, how they're used, so that whenever I'm rendering my stuff out, I have a real world reference for how they're used, so that so you'll see that for sure. All right, so like I always look for, you know, how they're stacked, you know, however they're used. You know, this is their life. This is the life of this object. And you know, the closer I can convince you that it's in its element, that it's living its life, right? The better you're gonna believe that image. The better the believability is gonna be. All right, so that's that idea. So let's go back here and then just add a standard, and then I'm just gonna throw a diffuse on here. I believe this is the first one we did, so now let's add it to our material. We're in wireframe mode, so that's why we don't see anything. So if I just hit F3, we've got shaded view going on right now. So let's just click the show shaded in material. All right, so that's that guy. So it's bitmap fit. And then let's go to this guy. It's this guy. All right, so now it's fitted to it. And that's why I usually like to do that first, the material process first. So now I can just drag this guy out, make a duplicate. Actually, let's reduce this plane size, the width of this plane. Okay, I don't know why that's being affected. There it is. All right. So I don't know why I needed to do that, but whatever. Let's get rid of the grid. All right. So this is our first one. You see this little white border? That's your bounding box. You can get rid of that by hitting J. So I'm going to hold shift and drag out a copy. I'm going to make a copy of this bad boy, and I'm just going to go into my material editor now, and then just start dragging and dropping. You can arrange them. You can, like, quickly, you know, put them in order, just so I have a little bit of organization going on here. Because these things will get hectic really quick, and then you're looking and there's like wires being everywhere, and it gets a little maddening sometimes. So So I'm just turning on show in viewport pre, so I don't have to do it again. So now I can just go and second one, apply, control grab both of these, hold down shift, drag those two out as copies, and then now I can just keep going. The third one, assign it. Fourth one, assign it. And then there's two more, I believe. 2, 4, 6, yep, there's 6. Alright, and then there's this guy. Alright, so we've got a decent, you know, a good amount of references that we can kind of draw from. And I always want to go back here and make sure that my bitmap is fit to it. So like I'll just do open, yeah, so tighten it up a little bit, so it's always good. All right, make sure you don't want to guess and have skewed images. So always go back and just check to make sure. You can never be too cautious when it comes to this stuff. Right, you know, your eyes will play tricks on you. You don't want the computer, you know, adding to that factor. So it's bitmap fit. And this guy is this guy. Alright, that's fine. Bitmap fit. Make sure that guy's good. Bitmap fit for this way up. All right, every one of them could use a little tightening up, right? You saw that it shrunk a little bit. It's not a lot. It's not, you know, crazy, but you know, sometimes it'll be quite significant in the model, and it'll affect how your model is going to turn out, and it's going to make your model look squashed or stretched or something, and you do not want that at all. So here's our lid, and I think that there's an image of this as well, because that's what we're going to do. Is we're just going to make one side, and then, you know, remove this side, remove this from it, and then duplicate it using, you know, so we'll make one side and it's pretty much done. It's a relatively easy model. And then we're gonna add these nails to them, and you know, I mean, I guess that'll be it. But I'm an extra mile kind of guy, so I might go ahead and take this, you know, take one of those sides into ZBrush, right, and then bring those guys back and then spin them around so that we have a dope looking high poly model. So I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. And for like the bonus, I might show you guys how to make this funfetti stuff inside. I think it's like sawwood or sawdust or some stuff like that, wood chips. You know, it's just aesthetically pleasing. It kind of fills out the space, and yeah, let's get to it. So let's find our final reference. Let's find our final piece of reference, and it was found here. So I'm looking for this guy right here. So we can use this guy as our reference guy to know what is going on. So let's do this guy. Let's save this guy into our crate references, and we'll just throw this guy right here. All right, so now we've got our final reference, and you guys know the drill already. You guys know this. Y'all know this. Just drag this bad boy out, make a copy like so, boom, boom shakalaka, right? You got it. And then bitmap fit, boom, wait for it. Oh, there it is, ready to go. No plan of no games. Right here, right now. It's ready for you. Another one. Right? Like another one. That's what you guys are going to say. Ty, another one? Another one. You played yourself. Alright. No more hip-hop references. I'm gonna stop. All right. So Now let's go into the front view, and I want to rotate this guy about 90 degrees. Now the weird accents are gonna start. No, the weird art accents are not gonna start. I'm serious, guys. I'm putting a stop to it right now. Let's rotate this fella. Oh shit, I can't stop it. And then let's go to bitmap fit, and then make sure that we have our bitmap fit. All right, that's cool. Cool. So now I'm gonna build it how it's built, right? I'm gonna build this thing the way that it is built, which is with wood blocks. All right, so it's just a giant square, giant square. And a good practice to do is whenever you're modeling stuff like this is to have people in the scene. So like you have like a base mesh or a base somebody that you know that is like 6 foot tall, so you can judge how that person would look next to the crate. And that's usually a good idea whenever you're modeling for game assets and stuff. But this stuff is for presentation, so we're not going to do that. But in the future, I do implore you to find a base mesh that you can trust that is about 6 heads tall, so that's about 6 foot. The human, I guess, the proportions, and you can use that for any one of your models to test how they are in relation to a human being. So that'll make your scaling a lot easier. But this is just for your portfolio, your presentation. We're going to go through the entire process. So let's get it on. All right. So I'm going to go into my front view, and I'm going to select all of them actually. And I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go into my object properties. If it'll let me, give me 1 second. Object properties. And then I'm going to turn off show frozen and gray, and I'm going to freeze them just so that now I can't select them. I cannot select these guys anymore. So that's really cool. That's really cool. So another thing I want to do is let's go to let's hit Alt W again. So what you can do is if you look right here, let me you can't see because no board's in the way. Let's hide no board for a second. So if you look right here, there are these little quad panels that you can change your viewport layout here. So if I wanted, I can have 2 viewports. You can lay it out however you want, make your own configurations. What I like to do sometimes is I like to split these guys up into 2 like this, and I'll keep the reference on one side. So I can go into, let's get into front view, and then let's hit F3. Let's turn off the grid by pressing G. So now I can have all of these in one. And let's unfreeze all, and then we're gonna work with this kind of layout. So I'm gonna, let's see, unfreeze all. All right, and then I'm just gonna grab these guys and just put them on top like so. And then put these guys on top like so. Maybe we do, no, actually, I want this guy at the bottom. I want these front facing ones at the bottom just because I'm going to be using that to model from. So maybe then this guy at the top. This guy's at the tip. Put this guy down here. Like that. I'm just rearranging it so I have like a decent workflow for how everything is. So I can see everything. So now I can zoom in here, and I'll have everything kind of in here so I have something to look at. And then I can perspective, select these guys, right click, freeze selection. Actually, let's unfreeze all, grab these guys. Look where the grid is. Let's move them closer to the grid. And then just move these guys over. Easy peasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alright. Just like that. That's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start drawing these panels out. So this one still looks kind of squashed to me. So let's just, so I don't know why. It doesn't look like it's like, that's better. This doesn't feel like this one looks right and feels right, but this one doesn't. So I'm probably just gonna do this one and then add this thing to it. So let's do that. So let's just make a plane. We're gonna start with a plane. Just gonna make a plane right here. Select all and then freeze them so we can't mess with them anymore. Alright, plane. Let me turn no board back on. Sorry guys. Let's make a plane right here. And then we're going to right click, convert that to an editable poly. I'm gonna hit F4. Hit 2 on my keyboard to select my and I'm gonna hit right click and I'm gonna hit connect. My connect options up. I'm gonna hit 2. I'm gonna slide these bad boys up like so, right there. Right. And I'm gonna do the same thing this way. So if I hit F4, you guys should be able to see my wireframe now. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna connect. Just like that. All right. So now we're getting our panels. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna detach these guys. All right, select those. Select those guys. And where's my detach? Oh, okay, here it is. All right, let's detach these guys. And we're gonna we'll call them objects for now, that's fine. We're gonna detach these guys. Okay, so now all we've got left is this center guy. All right, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 planks in here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna select these 2 edges right here, right click, connect. I'm gonna take that down to 0 again. I'm gonna do about 6 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, we need to do 7, right? And then we'll have 8 planks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 planks. All right, so now we've got 8 planks to work with. And what I'm going to do for these planks is I'm going to select these guys in the middle. I'm going to right click and then I'm going to split them. I'm going to split them. All right, now that I've split them, they are separate pieces. Let me prove it to you. Boop. I can just select and drag that guy off. All right, so those guys are split up now. And the next thing we're gonna want to do is I want these little wood planks because what's happening is these guys are these guys go a little further out. I'm gonna pull these guys a little further out just so they go behind that plank. And I'm going to pull this guy a little further up so it goes under, because I'm imagining that they're nailing these guys, right? They're nailing these guys to each other. So that's the idea. So I'm going to move it past these nails, just because I think that's the idea, is that, you know, I'm going to move this guy up a little bit just to match some of these lines, because it's not perfect, it's man-made, which is part of the beauty of these kind of things, is, you know, you're adding that human element to it that's not machined. Right? Even though most of this was probably made by a machine, you know, it's still a human doing a lot of the work, and it's not completely machined, so you're getting differences in the wood sizes and things like that, you know. It's a manufactured, man-made, you know, that kind of look. All right, so now we've got our inside plank, we've got our outside ones. All right, so now we're cooking with something. All right, for this middle piece though, there are a number of ways we can approach that, right? And let's see. My approach is going to be to just grab one of these outside pieces and then just shift drag it in. Shift drag. Oh, no, actually, I need to select this guy. Then I'm going to detach that guy as an object. So it's on its own island now. And then I'm just going to rotate. Rotate this guy like so. Alright, now that I've got this guy rotated, I'm going to hit 1 on my keyboard to go into my vertex mode. Alright, so this guy, kinda, if we look at our reference here, it's like this to this edge, and then this to this edge. So, what we can do is I'm gonna move this guy to this edge like so. And then this guy, we can do some interesting things with our edge snaps. So let's use our snapping. Let's see, our edge constraints. So we've got these constraints that we can do, and I can constrain it to the edge, so that now, all right, whenever I and another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these two extroverts that I've got right here. And then I'm going to select this guy. And then just bring this guy. Nope. So get this guy straight. Let's just grab this guy, hit none. Let's bring this guy down to about where this guy's gonna meet. Right there, and then I'm gonna do the same for this guy. I'm gonna pull this guy out like so. And then I'm going to do this guy, I'm just going to... And if it's not snapping, I can just turn on my snaps, and then I can just start snapping to, let's right click it. I'm going to snap it to verts. and not the grid point. And then I can even snap it to edges. So I can snap it to edges and verts. So I'm gonna snap this edge to this edge. And then this to this. Just like that. And I can just move this guy like so. Alright, so it's like you can see that it's got a little bit of imperfection to it, so I'm going to add a little bit of that myself. So I'm just going to turn off my edge constraints, turn off my snaps with like granny style doing it, and then I'm just going to move this guy over a little bit like so. It's actually right down there. It's actually right down there. Alright. Just going to put that guy right in place. And whenever this is done, you guys will see all this stuff kind of fall in place. But yeah, so this is like the framework for it. And if I want to make those completely straight, I can hit R and then just kind of flatten this guy out like that. Alright, now let the fun begin. All right, we've got our planks. Now let's throw some shell modifiers on everything. Let's do a shell. Alright, we got a shell modifier on this bad boy. I'm gonna hit P to go to my perspective mode. And then let's do let's do 12. No, that's a foot. That's not. That's way too big. Let's do like. Do 0, and then let's do 5. Ah, about 4 or 5 inches. That's 4.5 inches out. Let's see. Let's do just an even 4. Cause that might be a little thick. No, that's not what I want. Cool. So drop it down to 3371, and this is cool, and I can just copy this, and then I can just paste it. I want to get it right on one, and then I can just paste it on everything else. All right. Paste. And paste it instance, and then paste an instance, and then let's hit Alt X to get out of X-ray view. Hold this. Bring this guy and this guy. I'm gonna pull these guys out. Okay. All right. So yep, we've got our lip, and I think we might need to bring this lip a little closer to the top. All right, you see how it's made? All right. So yeah, you know, it's a good block out. So like everything else, we're just blocking out those shapes. We're not doing anything detailed or anything yet. We're not going into making the nails. Right? We're just blocking it out. Everything's literally just boxes right now. So that is good to go. And then for the side pieces, I'm just gonna take this guy off and call it a day whenever it comes to that. So yeah, we got this going now. Okay, so now let's go fix some of these issues. I'm gonna go to the front view. I'm gonna hit Alt X and then Alt X on these guys just so that I can see through. So this guy goes all the way to the lip, and these back ones are not as thick, so I'm gonna reduce that quite a bit, and then go into my edit poly, hit F4 just so I can pull up my wireframe. And I'm gonna pull this guy closer to this top. Right, and this guy closer to the bottom. And these guys need to also, nope, I missed one. And just bring these guys a little closer out. And right now I'm using this horrible green material, and I'm going to let's change that now. All right. Let's just increase this bad boy. Okay, let's do 48 by 28. And let's just assign that to this guy. Alright. So the problem right now is, man, if we threw a turbo smooth on these bad boys, we'd get Gumbyville. But what I could do is I can, remember that trick I showed you guys? Go up here. I went to top view so that I could make sure that this guy's leaning right up on that guy like that. And what I can do is I'm just gonna shift, drag this guy out. I'm gonna make it an instance. Actually, I'm gonna make it a copy. Just drag out a copy. Alright, cool. So now, if I hit F4, P, Z, I'm gonna select this stuff, hit Alt and Q. I'm gonna isolate it by itself. So now let's hit Turbo Smooth. I'm gonna hit this guy 3 times. So the idea is I'm gonna take it into ZBrush, right? So as you can see, I'm adding more geo to it. So now let's do the same for our outside pieces as well. Let's just add a Turbo Smooth. And then let's turn on our smoothing groups, and then let's do this 2-3 times, and then we'll just throw another Turbo Smooth on top. Alright, same here. Turbo smooth. Smoothing groups. Hit F4 so you can see what's going on. I'm just adding more geometry to it based on the smoothing groups, and I'm just going to add another turbo smooth to the top of it to give myself something like that. So now this is the starter, right? So let's see, T, turbo smooth it. F4. Use it. Turbo smooth. And just like that, we've got our planks kind of blocked out. I'm gonna maybe throw one more in here. There we go. Getting some nice edging. Alright. So I can group these. Let's group these real quick. Front underscore crate. Alright, and then I can just hold down E, hold down this my angle snap by hitting A, or what I want to do is hold down Shift and then rotate 90 degrees. Actually, no. We're going to rotate this 180 degrees. No, actually, no. We're going to do 90 degrees for sure. And then we're going to make it an instance. Hit OK. And we're going to then snap it to this corner. All right. So let's hit Alt W. Let's hide all. So I want to see some of my reference. Let's see. Okay. Alright, so now I can turn this off, Alt W. And then grab this centerpiece. So I'm just going to group to this group. I'm going to group. Let's do open the group. Now I can just delete that guy. And I can group, just close that guy back up. And I'll select these guys. And then just mirror them. And let's make it an instance on the, let's see, yep, X, Y, and then you can offset it. No offset. And then let's just then take our snaps again and then snap it. Boop. And just like that. Oh, great. Alright, so for the top and the bottom, the top is this guy, so it's just that one piece again. Rotate it to the top, and then the other piece. Okay, so let's do, nope, cancel. Let's go into our front view, and then shift, rotate it 90 degrees. And then this is an instance. That's fine. I'm gonna bring this guy. Nope. I'm gonna bring this guy up. Okay, looks like our top does not fit our crate. That is perfectly fine. We can adjust it. Alright, so I'm just gonna do, I'm gonna select that bottom piece again, but this time instead of making it an instance, I'm gonna make it a copy. So I'm gonna rotate once again about 90 degrees and then make it a copy. Alright, so I'm just gonna grab this edge and then just snap it in place. I want it. E. Nope, I'm just gonna rotate it. Hit A. Rotate it about 90 degrees. Just like so. And boop. Just like that. Alright. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to show you how to quickly add some bolts to these bad boys. Alright. So we're going to make ourselves some cylinders. We go into the front view. And then boom, just like that. We can make ourselves a nail. Reduce the radius, and then for sure reduce the height. And let's go here, PZ. Just zoom in, and then just pull this guy in like so. Now I can look at the reference. So these guys have like 2. Then one. These guys have 2. Let's make that an instance. Alright. So that now you just go into the edit poly modifier for it. Just throw an edit poly modifier on the stack. Select that, and I'm gonna hit grow. Therefore, I'm gonna grow this twice. Control I, delete everything in the back. Select this guy right here. So just pull him in. I don't need a back for this guy, so I'm not gonna put one. Just gonna hit all like that. Hit inset. Control X to collapse it. And then just throw a turbo smooth on. Alright, and then just make them pop. So actually, let's make a new material. We're gonna make these the nails. So I'm just gonna increase the darkness. This guy up and increase this guy, make it super dark. And I'm going to throw that guy on the nails. So now, should have something that looks like that. Alright. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all that and I'm going to turn off that goofy looking wireframe that I have going on. So now my wireframe looks like that. Right. So it's all black and dents and stuff, but that's fine for now. Alright. So here's our crate. Here's some nails. Alright. In the next section, we're going to wrap all of this up and, you know, present to you the finished piece. All right.